Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the definitive RuneScape bank tier list. We will be rating each of the banks in the game, including some minigame banks, a couple not really banks like NPC banks, just places where people like to hang out, and every overworld bank. So let's determine which bank is best. Starting off with the Grand Exchange. In OSRS, this is basically the definitive bank where everybody's hanging out. Very popular bank. A little bit too busy for my taste, but it's got to be A. Grand Exchange has got to be A, just due to how popular it is if you're looking for trades. Plus, you can buy and sell at the Grand Exchange while you're there. A lot of easy teleports. If you have the Varrock Medium Diary, you can teleport straight there. Ring of Wealth will get you straight there. Spirit Tree will take you straight to Trinome Village. Excellent bank for moving around the game. And if you have a quick way to get there, like Varrock Medium Diary, terrific place to just go and gear up. Next, this is Sears Bank. I'm a sucker for Sears Bank. I've got a soft spot for it. Chopping maples behind Sears was one of my childhood money makers. Of course, nowadays that's not going to make you very much. I got 99 woodcutting, AFKing the U's at the Sears church place. I'm not sure what you'd call it. It's the end of the agility course where the U's are. I really like Sears. It's a comfy place too. Nice color scheme. Yeah, comfy vibes. I like Sears a lot. I'll put it in A tier. I'm not a big fan of Mostly Harmless. Probably one of the worst islands in the game. Not really a fan. Not cool vibes. Interesting shape of the building. Kind of an hourglass looking shape. Nobody really hangs out here. Obviously, if you're already at Mostly Harmless, it's good to have a bank here, but this is a D tier bank, and if you're hanging out here, you gotta find a new place to chill. Bounty Hunter Bank, just a guy with a bunch of bags on his back. That's a D tier bank right there. Nobody's hanging out at Bounty Hunter to train skills. The Alqrid Dual Arena Chest. Now this one, probably spent a lot of time here as a kid doing dual arena against my friends and stuff. Undeniably an iconic bank for sure. I'm gonna put that one in the B tier. Next up, this is the Mattis Bank. Fun quest, getting the Nezi helm. You get to dress up like a jester. Nobody's hanging out here though. Difficult to get to, but it's a comfy vibe. We'll put it in the B tier. Okay, so that's a Narda Bank. I don't like grinding for goat horns, but I gotta do it sometimes. It's like the only bank out in the entire Alqrid desert, so it's gotta get some points for that, but you're going in the C tier. Just because it's the only bank out there, you know, it could come in handy. Decent spot. Fishing Guild Bank. Awkward location, kind of a weird shaped bank. Not a lot of people hang out here, but there's a lot of traffic in and out. People gotta always get some fishes. I personally do have a soft spot for the Fishing Guild Bank. I think that we're gonna put him in the B tier for now. This might get moved down to a C tier. We'll see. We have the Dorvish Khan Bank. This is, again, bad place. Don't want to hang out in the depths of the dungeons. We're putting this one in the... it feels too rude to stick it there. We'll put it in the C tier. It's worse than a Narda Bank by a lot. We'll put it in the D tier. Iconic Varrock West Bank. Everybody loves the Varrock West Bank. This is the iconic bank. You're thinking of RuneScape, you're thinking of banking, you're thinking of the Varrock West Bank. This is the perfect place to the bank stand. Lots of noobs coming in and out. You're gonna look cool. You got the anvils here. Perfect place to train some smithing. You've got all your childhood memories here. Even when it was just half a bank, I'm sure you had childhood memories. This is where I got my first Rune Scimitar on, personally, my favorite bank to do a couple different activities. Definitely the smithing bank, but everybody does that. But I also like to fletch in this bank. Good place. Also a good place to alch. I like this place for alching. The Rogue's Den Bank. There's a fire right there. You get to cook your sharks or whatever. The famous fire stander used to stand on the fire so that you couldn't click and cook right away. You had to right click on the fire instead. I watched a lot of Monty Python movies, getting 99 cooking here. It's more AFK though, watching Monty Python. We got Varrock East Bank. We'll put this at A tier. Everybody likes Varrock East Bank as well. This is a noob-friendly bank back when, I've told this a million times, but one of my other famous moneymakers as a kid was running Pure Essence. Decent color palette. You'll see people running Essence a little bit, and there's a couple quests and things you have to do over here. Nice clean bank. There's always the guy walking around, sweeping the floors too. You know, good place to be. I like this bank. Castle Wars. Another beautiful S tier bank, easy to get to. One click on the chest and you're already banking. Everybody's using their Ring of Dueling to teleport to the Castle Wars Bank. Terrific place. You probably got some childhood memories doing some Castle Wars as well. Great place to train your skills. This is another place where people like to do fletching and alching and stuff. You're fully zoomed in, just you and your bank chest. S tier bank right there at Castle Wars. We have Port Phasmatis. Port Phasmatis, walking back and forth. Before I knew that you should just use the Ectofile and bank at Castle Wars, there was some running back and forth from the Port Phasmatis Bank to go and do the Ectofunctus. Nobody wants to be inside of Port Phasmatis. Everybody hates it here. It's the worst place in Mauritania. Ugly color palette. You got ghosts all around. You gotta use your Ecto tokens to take up inventory space. Definitely not a place that you want to hang out. We're gonna be putting Port Phasmatis Bank in the C tier though, because it's good prayer XP. You gotta use it when you gotta use it. This is the Arty West Bank. I'd say, come on guys, Arty West Bank. Is it a B tier or a C tier? I think that it's a C tier. You can do a little bit of pickpocketing master farmers. If you do teleport to Arty and you have to bank, I think most people like going to the southern more bank, the one where people pickpocket the Arty Knights. If you're doing sheep herder and you gotta kill all the sheeps, good bank for that, but you'd rather be at another bank. This is not really a cool kid bank to hang out at. Nobody's hanging out here. If you're in Arty, you should be at the other bank. We've got the Zenaris Bank. Another bank where people, they're not really spending a lot of time here, but if you have some quests you're doing, Fairy Tale, or you're doing Lost City. If you're doing Lost City or Fairy Tale, you're coming here. If you're doing a Recipe for Disaster, you gotta come here. Zenaris has always had kind of an interesting vibe to it. Not a lot of people hang out here, obviously, but yeah, I could see somebody skilling here for a while. It's a nice change of scenery. It's got an iconic look to it for sure. You'd rather be hanging out in Zenaris than Port Phasmatis, that's for sure. So I'll put this in the C tier. This is like top of C tier though. I could see somebody hanging out here. Next we got Edgeville. Everybody gonna be putting Edgeville up here. You got your Amulet of Glory teleport. You got your PKers coming here. You got your people doing moneymakers, killing Chaos Druids in the wilderness. Teleport with your glory to bank really quick. If it wasn't, if the Amulet of Glory was at a different bank, I think that other bank would be an iconic one, but for sure Edgeville is one of the most iconic banks in all of RuneScape, and a terrific place to train your smithing and your crafting as well if you gotta use the furnace. We got Shiloh Village. Shiloh Village is going into C tier. You're not spending a lot of time in Shiloh Village. If you have to go and get a new task from Duradel, you're always kind of upset because it's a pain in the ass to go all the way to Shiloh. Nobody's training here. Nobody's spending any extra time here that they don't have to. There's a old Silent Core 99 fishing tutorial video where he is fishing trout and salmon in Shiloh and banking them. If you like Shiloh, hey, sorry, I could see somebody kind of liking Shiloh, but this is a C tier bank for me. We got Jetizo. Jetizo, I think we're gonna put this in the D tier. When I did do ice troll tasks, I didn't mind banking here. You know, you go and you get your cannonballs, you gear up to do your task and go do your, I'd say high D tier, definitely above these guys. The order of these is not really taken into account. Maybe at the end I'll shuffle them around, but as for right now, this is the top of D tier. Warriors Guild. We got the Warriors Guild. You can buy some potatoes, some cheese potatoes. I don't really like the vibe in the Warriors Guild. You see all these ones? All the bright colored places. Those are the places that people want to be hanging out. It's always a grind though, getting your defenders and stuff. Now, I don't think that people have good associations with the Warriors Guild because it's just like a mandatory grind to go get your Rune Defender or Dragon Defender. So we'll put him in the D tier. Barbarian Assault. I think Barbarian Assault's bank chest is a C tier. You can get here with a games necklace, plus you're gonna forget stuff for quests, especially Waterfall quest. More of like a, ooh shit, I forgot something. I forgot a rope for the Waterfall quest. Now I can go and grab one from the bank chest. It's good that it's there, but not a place where people want to be. We have the Pest Control Bank. Not a giant fan of this. This is another place where people do fletching and stuff. A lot of people like Ultimate Iron Man or restricted builds always have their screenshots here where they're leveling up their prayer or whatever through Pest Control. It's a decent one. I'd put this at high C tier though. Maybe even, nah, he's staying in C tier. I was gonna say maybe it's B tier, but we got Lunar Isle. A good place to train your crafting. You can switch to the Lunar Spellbook and do Super Glass Make. That's a great way to level up your crafting. Kind of a comfy place. We'll move this up to C tier, or B tier. Decent spot. Dude, I put the Jetizo one up, or the Night is Not one at B tier. This is more of a C tier now that I'm looking at it. We'll put this high C tier. The Cooking Guild, overrated. We're gonna be putting this in the D tier. You gotta have, what is it, some like medium diary, Varrock medium diary to even use this bank, and it's not even good. You'd rather just cook at the Rogue's Den. But as a kid, you're always walking past, you're like, oh my god, that's a perfect place to cook, dude. Look, there's a range right there. We got the Trinome Stronghold. This is the two banks that are up by the Grand Tree. I think we're gonna put these in B tier. Yeah, there's some good vibes up here. Not a lot of you can get some secondaries for doing herb lore from the guy over there. He sells like chocolate, and you can make the chocolate dust. You don't want to confuse the stronghold and the village. You know, you haven't used a spirit tree in a while. You click the wrong one, and you got to go to the other one. They're both villages, really, aren't they? So you go to this one, but this is not the iconic bank in the Trinome Stronghold. Of course, we'll get to that one soon. We got the Falador East Bank. Some childhood memories. This is another place where everybody's going when they're doing their early level questing. You gotta run back and forth. You gotta bring a red berry pie. You gotta do Pirate's Treasure. When people think of the Falador Bank, they're thinking of this one. They're not thinking of the other bank. I don't think anybody would have too many problems with spending time at the Falador East Bank. We'll move this. Maybe it's a B tier. A tier? B tier? A tier. Mage Bank. Nobody wants to be hanging out at Mage Bank. Good thing that it exists though. We'll put it in C tier. Not too much to say about it. You do Mage, it's not Mage Training Arena. The mini quest, the God Cape mini quest. Mage Arena? Is that what it's called? Mage Arena Part 1? I never did the Part 2 in OSRS, but you go through the little waterfall to pick up your cape. Yeah, whatever. Keldagrim. Good that it exists, but who's gonna be banking here? Nobody. Nobody cool is hanging out in Keldagrim. The Lumbridge Bank on top of the castle. Gotta be S tier. Even though you have to climb up 2 flights of steps, and there's only one booth, iconic place to be hanging out. You get to look out across Lumbridge. On the server that I play, 2009scape, everybody's always coming up here because we have home teleport on no cooldown. Everybody's always banking up here. Even though you gotta climb up 2 flights of steps, everybody loves the Lumbridge upstairs bank. It never does you wrong. Lumbridge Bank, terrific place to be. Falador West Bank. I'll put it in a B tier. Decent place to be hanging out. You gotta do a Blue Dragons task, you're coming over here. Again, for quests and things, you're over here. Whenever the Shooting Star is at the Crafting Guild or at Rimington, I'm teleporting to Falador and then I'll forget something and I have to grab it from this bank over here. But the West Bank is not what people are thinking of when they're thinking of Falador. That's why he's B tier. Next up we got Alqrid Bank. We're putting him in the A tier. Good low-level bank though for any Alqrid related quests. You gotta do the Prince Alley Rescue. You're running around back and forth. You gotta tan some hides, run back and forth here. Good low-level furnace to train up your smithing and crafting. There's no complaints to be had about the Alqrid Bank, and there's a Shooting Star that crashes right outside. If you gotta do low-level fishing, you can catch some shrimps. It's a fine bank. Shoutouts to the Alqrid Bank. Underrated. Cannabis. The Cannabis Bank. Another dingy and grim bank. We're happy that it's here though, so we'll put it in C tier. Not too much to say. The Good Arty Bank. He's only going in the A tier though. The Good Arty Bank. This is where people are always pickpocketing the Arty Knights. Other than that, there's no real reason to be using this bank. You should just teleport someplace else, but I spent a lot of time here spam clicking on pickpocket for the guards on OSRS. I do prefer the OSRS rendition of this to the 2009 version. The floor textures and stuff are nicer. We got Tazar. The Tazar Fight Caves right down here. Hurts my eyeballs to look at. Cool looking guys. Decent change of scenery. In a way that's very unique to the area. But it does hurt my eyes, which puts it down at C tier. We've got the Shanty Pass. We're gonna put Shanty Pass over here at C tier. We're happy that it's here, but who's gonna be hanging out at the Shanty Pass? Nobody cool. Next up we got Yanil. C tier bank. Maybe B tier? B tier bank. Too far away from teleport actually. In OSRS you can minigame teleport to Nightmare Zone, which is where a lot of people spend a lot of time. Kind of an ugly place here in Yanil, but you got a watchtower teleport, which is way too far away from the entrance, even though there's a shortcut. The Wizards Guild is alright, Mage Guild. They got good prices on runes and stuff. Another iconic bank. It's been lost to time though. Apparently there used to be like this was the old Rimington place basically where people did house parties. This is still a pretty popular bank. A lot of people like to bank stand here, and it's good for Iron Men because you can high alch and then go and buy some more nature runes and then go back and forth. So, yeah, B tier. Definitely higher than some of these. We'll just do the order a little bit here. Next up we got ZMI, D tier. Nobody's spending time with the ZMI. and everybody hates rune crafting, and it's ugly, it's got lava, nobody wants to be looking at this. D tier. The fishing colony. Fishing monkfish. I wish that this guy was a one-click bank, or there's a bank chest or something. I think there's a deposit box in OSRS, but you gotta right-click on this guy, and sometimes you click trade. Kinda dingy vibes, but still kinda chill. Easy peasy AFK, fishing XP. You spend a lot of time here. He goes C tier. Drainer Bank, B tier. Chopping willows at Drainer. Everybody's got the memories of that. You got the dark wizards across the way. We got the wise old man. Iconic cutscene with him breaking into the bank. Low level stuff if you're this is another glory teleport bank if you have to go and do some questing. Decent location to pickpocket master farmers as well. He gets B tier, maybe. He's like ultra high B tier though. I feel like it almost deserves A tier, but my heart's telling me B. We've got the Trinome Stronghold Good Bank. This is right by Neither Steve and Magic Tree and a Flax Spawn and a Tree Patch. People love this place. This is a little treehouse hideout for you to train your skills. Easy banking, easy XP, and you get to hang out in a cool tree fort with some little gnomes. I give it a S tier. Catherby Bank. Did you know that the Catherby Bank is always telling you what time it is outside on the clock? The clock is telling you what time it is. It's like early morning. It's one of those facts that they always tell you on the RuneScape. 5 fun RuneScape facts. Number 5. It's always early morning in RuneScape. If you're doing a farm run, this is a place where people like to stop. Cami teleports are always fast, and I think most people when they Cami teleport are going to be doing a farm run or something. The Sears Bank is closer, I'm pretty sure. But this is a comfy place to fish some lobsters, do a little fishing at those spots. And Catherby's just a comfy spot. When we all got across White Wolf Mountain for the first time after getting membership, we like to stop at Catherby and see the sights, smell the sea breeze. Culinary Mancer's chest. Is this A tier or B tier? I think he's got to go B tier. It's underground, it's dingy. This is where everybody's banking in old school if they have to teleport to Lumbridge. They're not going upstairs, they're going downstairs to get the bank chest. Nobody wants to be in the frickin' Lumbridge cellar. This is not a cool place to hang out. You'd much rather be on the top floor, even though you gotta right click on the steps to climb up. So, I'll put it B tier. 2 ones that I've never really used myself. The Bullrog place where you get your summoning charms back. We'll put them in C tier. A lot of C tier banks I think are like utility. You're glad that they're there, but you're not going to be hanging out there too much. And then this is one of the elf ones. I don't know anything about it. He's going C tier. I think that the number 1 bank in the game's got to be Varrock West Bank. Varrock West Bank. Beautiful place. And then I think I'm going Edgeville, Castle Wars, upstairs in Lumbridge, and then the Trinome Stronghold. Then in A tier we got Grand Exchange, gotta be Grand Exchange. Then Sears, I have personal connection to the Sears Bank, one of my favorite comfy places. Varrock East Bank, I think we gotta put Falador East Bank above that. And then Catherby, and then Alqrid, and then Ardy. Dual Arena Chest, Yanel, the other banks inside of Trinome Village or Trinome Stronghold, then Falador West Bank, Fishing Guild. We'll put this above Yanil, this here, Fishing Guild, Berthope, Rogue's Den, Lunar Isle, downstairs. This is definitely above these guys. C tier, these ones aren't really that important. We'll just, we'll leave these ones out of order. And then D tier, who cares? There it is, guys, the definitive RuneScape tier list of all of the greatest banks in the game. Thanks for watching. See you later.